Hey, what is up, guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. Pretty scary thing to think about, right? The universe self-destructing at any second. And according to some scientists, this is very well the case. So, some new reports have come out describing a situation where the universe could indeed self-destruct at any moment, as every particle within is trying to reach its lowest state by releasing energy. Now, for those of you who don't know, the universe is constantly trying to reach what is called its lowest state, which is what happens when particles release all of their energy. By then reaching the lowest state, it is then in what is called a vacuum state, which is where a particle would be at its most stable, as energy is at its lowest point. So some new reports have hit the web where scientists are affirming their beliefs that every particle in the universe has reached its lowest state, apart from the Higgs field. Now, the Higgs field is an energy field which exists everywhere in the entire universe, and as particles travel through it, they are given mass or energy. However, if the Higgs field reaches its vacuum state or lowest point, the energy inside of it would be large enough to push on space around it, causing energy to ripple throughout the universe in all directions and at the speed of light, completely obliterating and wiping out the entire universe, everything in its path. And because of this, they're saying that the destruction of the universe would be almost instantaneous. Almost. So if this were to happen, first of all, we wouldn't see it coming. Secondly, if it did happen, there would be no longer any chance of life ever existing again, seeing as that there would be no space for it to exist in the first place. There is some good news, however, before some of you guys may be worried that the universe could self-destruct at any moment. This is, again, speculative theory coming from science. There's a lot about the universe we don't know. And even if this were to happen, even at the speed of light, it would still take billions of years before we would end up being wiped out completely. However, as we learn more about science, we're learning that the universe itself may be infinite as opposed to finite. If you guys remember, there was a recent article that just came out where they discovered that the universe has 10 times more galaxies than scientists had originally thought. And we're talking trillions of galaxies, and that's just what we can see. So again, yeah, it's definitely kind of a frightening concept, but we definitely want everyone to know that this is only the current way of thinking within some facets of the scientific community, which again is changing, growing, morphing, and evolving. So while we're on the topic of space, and be sure to stay tuned because we've got some new UFO sightings as well as an update on the microphone drawing that will be held within the next day or two. But we have some new developments in the recent discovery of what is known as Tabby's star. Now, if you followed the channel, you'll know that Tabby's star is this very strange star that they found that was showing some very strange dips in its starlight. Which usually only happens when something very large is moving in front of the star, such as a planet. However, a planet usually only causes about a 1 to 2% dip in starlight. However, the light coming from Tabby's star was fluctuating at between 20 and 40%, meaning there was something massive blocking this light. And scientists have been stumped. They have gone through every possible theory that they could think of as to what could be blocking this starlight, and every single one has fallen apart. And they are seriously leaning towards the possibility that there could be a large extraterrestrial structure that is blocking the light from this star. One of those alien structures is something called a Dyson sphere, which would be a large sort of solar panel array that is built around the star to harness its energy. So this star and whatever is blocking its light continues to be an enigma for scientists. And the more and more they try to disprove or set aside the alien megastructure theory, the more they reinforce it. And so now we have a new report of a $100 million initiative that is being put into place where they will have a giant satellite dish aimed at Tabby star that will listen for extraterrestrial signals. And it's called the Breakthrough Initiative. We talked about this in our last video, and it's backed by Professor Stephen Hawking as well as the creator of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, who are going to train this U.S. radio telescope on the star and see what they pick up. Now, this equipment that they're going to be using is, quote, the most powerful SETI equipment on the planet. SETI, by the way, stands for Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. The co-director of the program went on to say that they are going to be looking at this star with a greater sensitivity and for a wider range of signal types than any other experiment like this in the entire world. The team is going to be using the 100-meter Grand Bank telescope in West Virginia. And yeah, they're going to see what they can find. Now, they have looked at this star in the past using the Hubble, and they failed to find any unusual signals. However, there are tons of different signals, and with the new discovery of these 234 stars that they found were sending these very strange modulations in between one another. If you remember, we talked about this in our recent video. I definitely think that we're on the right track. They would not be pumping $100 million into looking at this star for no reason. There is always an agenda, and I guarantee you that they know something that we don't, and they would have to have a very good reason to put this type of money toward it. So, it's only a matter of time. And while I firmly believe that our government, as well as a very compartmentalized group of scientists, have known for a very long time about the extraterrestrial presence, it's starting to look like they are increasing the speed with which they drip feed the public information about this search. And who knows, we may end up seeing a final disclosure within our lifetimes. So now, on to some new UFO sightings. I have got a crazy piece of footage out of Apache Junction, Arizona, of something moving through the sky, displaying one of the strangest light patterns I've seen. So go ahead and check this out.
I'll do it anyways. What the hell is that? Joseph, you gotta video this while I drive. Here, we gotta get on the freeway. Come on, come on, come on!
Can you go straight? I've never seen lights jump.
This shit's going on Secureteam. Come on.
Alright, so this was sent over by Mr. Chance Clark. He said that he was driving home from Walmart in Apache Junction, Arizona, which is just east of Phoenix. He was stopped at the light here when they captured this UFO that appeared to be moving sideways. And he said that it had, from his view, 4 lights on it. But what was strange, and as you guys just saw, the light that is farthest to the right would vanish, and then another light would reappear on the far left, with the process repeating itself over and over. So, you know, the light on the end would vanish and the new one would appear on the other end. This is very, very strange. I've never seen something like this before. There's nothing I can think of that could explain this. At least nothing natural. Anyway, helicopters do not do this. Airplanes do not do this. I've never seen drones that display a light pattern anything close to this. This is definitely a bizarre piece of UFO footage. And so the UFO finally disappeared behind some trees. They attempted to get it back into view. They couldn't see it. And this is the footage that we have. But, you know, definitely what we do have here is something of note. And it's definitely worthy of a second look. And I want any of you guys who live, you know, near Phoenix or Apache Junction to keep your eyes up for anything similar to this, because this has really perked my interest. And I mean, just look at the way these lights are acting. big thanks to Mr. Clark for sending this over. Again, I've never quite seen anything like this before. We've seen lights in the sky, plenty, but I've never seen them act in such a way. So let me know what you guys think about that. Another strange finding, this time on the moon. And this was just discovered by Scott Waring over at UFO Sightings Daily of what looks like an artificial opening inside of a crater. The crater is called Bancroft Crater, and you can find this on Google Moon. And so we'll go ahead and zoom in here. And as we get closer, you'll start to see this a doorway, as Scott called it. And there's some very interesting things about this, and this is not the first time that we have seen these objects, which we will go into in just a moment. So we are zoomed in now, and we'll just kind of give you some different angles. And obviously, look at this thing. It's plain as day. There's a few things about this that lead me to believe that this is not some sort of glitch or error in the software, because if you look at this, you'll notice that the sun is shining down from the right at this angle that we're at. The sun is shining down from right to left, leaving the inside right rim of the crater in shadow and leaving the left side rim in view of the sun. Now, as you look at this entranceway, we'll call it, you'll notice what looks like sort of a metallic structure around it. And the only portion of this structure that is illuminated by the sun is on the left side. So it perfectly correlates with where the sun is shining from, where we see the left side edge of it reflecting sunlight, just as we see the left side of the crater reflecting sunlight. And we also have some more evidence that backs this up. We have talked about the hollow moon theory in the past. There's a growing number of people who believe that the moon is hollow on the inside. There are many who believe that the moon is not really a moon at all, that it is some sort of large alien spacecraft that is made and camouflaged to look like a moon on the outside, but is actually only a couple of miles thick before ending at a large metallic hull that is hollow inside. And I won't get into it today. I mean, this is a whole nother video. I've actually done a video on the hollow moon and hollow earth theories. The hollow moon theory definitely holds more water because we have had scientists come out and agree that it could be a possibility. We have found large caverns and holes on the moon that would seem to have no bottoms. And you can look this up for yourself. We have found that there are large underground caverns and compartments on the moon. We also know that when the Apollo astronauts visited the moon, there were a number of instances where spacecraft had crashed into the moon's surface, which had caused the moon, and this is in the words of an Apollo astronaut, to, quote, ring like a bell for hours. And this was after a probe had crashed down, slamming into the moon, which caused reverberations that lasted for hours and that could be felt from hundreds of miles away, as if it were hollow. Now, furthermore, this is not the first time we have seen these identical openings. I mean, the same thing we're looking at here on the moon, only we've discovered them originally on the planet Mars. And you're seeing an image of some of those here. And as you're looking at it, you'll notice that it's nearly identical to the one we're seeing here on the moon, and we'll show you a side-by-side comparison. And again, these were found on Google Mars, and you'll notice here that these aren't just jet black squares, some sort of pixelation issue. You can definitely see that there is depth to these entrances. You can see that there is a clear gray metallic structure surrounding the entrance that is a completely different color, obviously, from the surrounding Martian surface. And I mean, you look at this entrance here that was found on Mars. I mean, it looks like a secret half-covered entrance with a metallic frame wrapping around it. And we have found these things scattered all over Mars, some of them hidden better than others. And at the same time, Mars is also well known to be the subject of underground construction itself. And so what we have here with both the moon and the Mars, we have some public scientific findings mixed in with findings from the Apollo astronauts, as well as some basic research, opinions, theories, and speculation. You add it all together, and you start to notice a pattern that would suggest that the moon and Mars, but the moon especially, may not be as solid as we think. So I will put the coordinates to this down in the video description. You can get on Google Earth, check it out for yourselves. I will also put the coordinates to these entrances you can find on Mars. So check them out for yourselves. Let me know what you guys think. And before we end today's video, I want to show you a couple of cool things. The first of which is this image that was sent in by a fan of the channel of our very own Secureteam pumpkin. And this is just awesome. You can see someone took our logo here and carved it into this pumpkin, and this was sent over by Mr. Brian Sayward. And so I told him I would show everyone, so I just want to give you a big thanks for that, man. This is pretty epic, and I mean, the logo is spot on, so big thanks, pretty cool. Now, I want to talk about the microphone drawing. I've got the microphone and everything that comes with it all boxed up, and I'm going to be holding the drawing, I'd say either tomorrow or the next day at the latest. I have given it about a week for people to enter the drawing, just to make sure we don't leave anyone out. We've got about 4,000 people who have entered for the drawing, and so I am going to be doing the drawing. I've got my little bingo ball cage here that I'm going to be using to draw the random numbers that will allow us to select the final winning email. Another thing I want to show you guys is the Secureteam stickers that just arrived to me in the mail today. And as a secondary prize to the microphone, I am going to be sending 20 people, or runners-up, their very own Secureteam sticker. So once we draw the winner of the microphone, I'll go ahead and draw 20 more random emails, and we'll send you out a sticker. You can put them on your laptop. I've got one on my laptop here, and eventually I will have these available on the Secureteam online shop where you get the t-shirts and whatnot. So we will be holding the drawing here in a day or two. We'll get some stickers out there. We'll get this new microphone out. And as I said before, if you don't end up winning the microphone, this is only the first of many microphone drawings we are going to hold. Because there's a lot of you out there who I've spoken to, I've gotten your emails, a lot of you guys out there who are trying to start your own channels or music endeavors, and I definitely want to give back to the community for all you guys have done for me and this channel, and we will definitely be holding more drawings. So look out for that. Let me know what you guys think about everything else we've talked about today. If you have your own UFO footage or stories you'd like me to report on, be sure to send me an email. And yeah, thank you for stopping by. Be sure to subscribe and stick around. There is never an uninteresting day on this channel. So drop me a like on your way out, and I'll see you guys back very soon.